Hello, everybody. Welcome to Serious Pals. My name's Chris, and this week, Jordan's driving our ship, and he's here. His name's Jordan. Jordan, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody out there.
Happy spooky season.
This is the first week. The date of this posting will be the first Monday in October. So this kicks off our 4 episodes straight of spooky monsters things, maybe. I can't remember what the episodes are all for this month, but I know my 2 episodes this month are going to be horrifyingly scary.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. I thought they're pretty spooky. How about you? How are you doing, Jordan? You doing good?
Good.
Good.
Allergies
that time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Great. I'm ready to get into this story. What do you have for us this week?
Well, Chris, I'm going to start it off a little different here. Okay.
We're actually going to get into it instead of get yelled at for mindless, terrible stuff in the beginning.
Well, until I get said, talk about God dog, but
people don't want to hear it.
We don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right.
Let's jump right into our mystery this week.
I'm jumping in with a passage from a letter.
Okay.
All right, just follow along here. It starts, esteemed mortal, they have never caught me and they never will. They have never seen me, for I'm invisible, even as the ether that surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and demon in the hottest hell. I'm what you Orleanians, and your foolish police call the Axeman. When I see fit, I shall come and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be. Shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, besmeared with blood and brains of he whom I've sent below to keep me company.
The Axeman cometh.
Yeah. What do you think of that little thing there, Chris?
It sounds like it's a passage from like a book or a TV show that is written to be
like a true crime kind of thing?
Yeah, but like it's like staged in like 1800s or New Orleans. Okay. Something Nick Cage would be starring in.
Like a sequel to National Treasure.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking for it. Well, they did do a sequel to it.
I mean, the sequel to the sequel.
No, I mean, but like they did do another one. It's a show.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. They did a third thing. It was a show on Disney Plus, and it wasn't even Nick Cage.
That's over. Like that. They didn't renew that, right?
I have no clue. I never watched it because I was too angry. I was seeing red, they say. Much like this Axeman.
It's very fitting. Nice. All right, so that was from a letter written to a local newspaper in New Orleans, or Nolans. People pronounce it Nolans apparently down there. In 1919. So you're close with the
1800s.
Yeah. It was signed by the Axeman. This week we'll be discussing the Axeman of New Orleans. The Axeman of New Orleans was a moniker given to a serial killer who attacked and murdered people with an axe.
Okay, fitting.
Yeah. This is in New Orleans from 1918 to 1919. This is a span of like 18 months this happened. This is a serial killer who's never been caught or even identified. He also has a penchant for jazz music.
New Orleans, of course.
Well, yeah, sure. At the time, back way when.
Back way when?
Yeah, back way when. Back way when. All right. Let's do a little of the cultural background of New Orleans during this time.
Okay.
Of the Axeman's killings. This is following the Civil War.
Rough.
I mean, I feel like it,
I don't think New Orleans was on a good side, right?
No.
They were on the wrong side. I don't
believe so.
They were on the bad side. Some would say, some may not say.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're right to think that. But you're wrong.
Was Louisiana part of America?
Yeah, the purchase already happened.
Okay, so they got it from the French.
Mm-hmm.
1700s? 1800s?
1800s. I was like 1803, I think.
Okay.
They got it.
Okay.
Could be wrong about that.
But Texas is Mexico still.
Yes.
Okay. And at this time, no.
Well, during the Louisiana Purchase, I believe Texas was still,
But not at this time of the story.
Yeah. There's also the end of segregation. The thousands of African Americans entered into the city of New Orleans, living with whites, Creoles, Jewish people, as well as other peoples. During the earliest 20th century, New Orleans became a major port, bringing in lots of immigrants looking for work. As you know, anytime one of these cities booms, people are looking for work.
We talked about last week, Getty, like, was that happening there too? But yeah, people coming into the port.
So there's gonna be a lot of similarities.
A lot of port cities.
Yeah, and also with Jack the Ripper.
Oh,
because at that time during the Industrial Revolution,
that's where I heard this one before.
During the Industrial Revolution in England, during London at that time, like, they became a big hub. A lot of people came in. A lot of people weren't very happy about that.
And that's why Jack was ripping.
Yeah, that's why he's ripping.
Jack's got a rip, Axe got a axe.
I don't remember, like, when we talked about that, like, some of these people that were coming into London were looked down upon by the Londoners, native English people. This is kind of the same case here. A lot of these immigrants that came in were Italian. And what ended up happening, a lot of these Italian immigrants owned a huge portion of grocery stores in the city.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though the people didn't want them there, they were still able to, like...
They're also kind of, like, in their own...
ward and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
The New Orleans at this point was a huge melting pot of diverse people and cultures.
So what you're telling me, in America, people hated people that weren't from here.
Whoa.
Even though most of them, all the people here at that time weren't from here, pretty much.
Yeah, it's weird, really weird.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guess we haven't learned our lesson. And not a surprise to anyone, as we just talked about. Unfortunately, the diversity to some was an issue. So xenophobia manifested out of this. But on a positive note, due to this cultural diversity, jazz was born. Are you a fan of the jazz, Chris?
Nope.
Okay.
Next question.
Moving on. All right. So the way I have this set up is...
I don't understand it. That's why I don't like jazz. It's too confusing.
It's like abstract art. Just kind of
yes,
like, what am I looking at? What am I listening to?
Exactly. So I could never do that.
Right.
That's why. I don't like it. Too confusing.
There's not really structure.
It's too free form. There's no structure.
Yeah, it's going to change each time. Like,
confusing.
Yeah.
Probably is great. Don't care.
I'm sure it's great.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
I love the people that love it.
Yeah. So the way I'm doing this is I'm going to go over the attacks and murders that this Axeman did. All right. Instances.
Could it be an axe woman?
Apparently not this time around.
Why?
Because everyone says the man that they saw.
Okay.
Possibly.
So people saw, so there was eyewitnesses.
Some eyewitnesses, yes. And then we'll go, in the suspects, but there's things I'll be leaving out as we go into the attacks and murders that we'll go into later with possible suspects for this. There's not that many. Even today, even in hindsight, scholars are like, we don't really know. But I thought that was kind of interesting. With Jack the Ripper and like when you did the
I never did that.
What'd you do? You did a serial killer one.
I did?
Zodiac.
Oh yeah.
You're like, no.
That was a rough.
But there were, there's like some suspects were like very like, this guy probably did it kind of thing, or like likely, but maybe not have. But like this one's kind of like, no one really seems to know. So let's throw this out there now. It's believed he killed 6 people, maybe more.
Probably more.
And he's attacked about a dozen people.
1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
It's just, no one keeps track of this stuff. They're just murdering people everywhere.
The first attack that happened was on May 23rd, 1918. Andrew Maggio arrived home after a night of celebrating drinking. The first attack happened on May 23rd, 1918. That night, Andrew Maggio arrived home after a night of celebratory drinking. He was recently accepted into the Navy. He lived in an adjoining house to his brother Joseph and his sister-in-law Catherine. So this is where things are weird back then, trying to figure stuff out, because some of these sources said he's in an adjoining house with his brother and sister-in-law, or he's in the same house.
Adjoining and...
But like, it made it seem like he's either in the same house or there's like another house connected to that house.
A duplex type of thing, maybe?
Maybe, something along those lines.
Okay.
Catherine and Joseph were Italian immigrants who owned a grocery store that was connected to their home.
Oh, that would suck.
Why?
As you go to a grocery store now and people just terrible,
lording around
throwing
your
stuff.
house.
Yeah, like I don't want anybody in there like using my bathroom, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't.
Why is there cabbage in the toilet?
Yeah, like we weren't at like a super Walmart here or anything, but still,
yeah.
people were eating stuff out of the boxes. I'm like, come on,
that's my refrigerator, man. That's my Count Chocula.
Yeah, as I said, it's my Count Chocula. I love it. Oh, you know what I found out this year? So we got a family size box Count Chocula.
Yeah, nice.
Already gone, but
it's already out.
Oh yeah. They have that apple one too, the girl one. It wasn't good. It tastes like Apple Jacks basically, or it's caramel apple.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah,
it's
new.
Like the Frankenstein one and Count Chocula and the Blueberry.
Blueberry, Count Chocula.
Isn't it like a wolf one?
Yeah, there was a wolf. I don't know what happened to him.
I think it's a mixed. That's like a mixed berry one.
Dumb. Anyway, they have a girl one too.
What monster is she?
Maybe Frankenstein's monster, the wife.
Okay.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Right.
Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't care. Anyway, it wasn't very good. It was like Apple Jacks. Which Apple Jacks are good, but not like this.
Okay.
Apple Jacks marshmallows are not good.
Yeah, I don't see that being good.
No, but Count Chocula, dry Count Chocula, just like throwing it in your mouth, great. Fantastic. Okay, go ahead.
I disagree. I mean, it'd still be good, but I obviously prefer with milk, right?
Well, I can't have regular milk.
But I mean, you do your...
No, I actually prefer it dry now. When you drink the milk I have to drink, you understand.
What do you do, almond milk?
Yeah. Oat milk's gross. Yeah.
Almond milk's fine.
Soy milk is soy juice. It's gross. Okay, go. That's cereal talk.
At around 4:45 a.m., Andrew woke up hearing a loud moaning coming from his brother's room next door.
The Crunch Pals.
Yeah.
That's what we'll call that one.
Crunch Pals, nice. He pounded on the wall, no response. We heard something was going on. Not, I mean, when I said moaning.
So moaning as in like pain.
Yeah. It wasn't like, But eventually, in a panic, he ran to grab his two other brothers who lived elsewhere. And this is where I saw conflicting things. Either he lived with another brother, or he was either in this house with his brother Joseph, and his other brother lived down the street.
So there's his brother. Somehow there were brothers near him.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
When they arrived back at the house about a half hour later, for this one, Andrew first woke up hearing this weird stuff going on. They entered their brother and sister-in-law's room. I don't know if this is from a police report or something written in the newspaper, but this is the scene, painting a picture here. Lying diagonally across the bed, with his feet touching the floor, was the body of Joseph Maggio. On the floor alongside the bed, and resting across the feet of her husband, lay the dead body of his wife, Catherine. The floors and bed were smeared with blood. The man was not yet dead. But by the time the ambulance arrived, Joseph had died.
They have ambulances at this time?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay. So by the time someone came to help him, he was already dead.
Yeah.
Oof.
So the police arrived. They noticed that Joseph and Catherine's throats had been cut by a razor.
Not an axe?
Nope. Catherine's cut was so deep that her head was barely hanging on.
But it wasn't an axe.
They were also struck multiple times with an axe.
Okay. That's where the axe comes in.
Yep. An axe belonging to Joseph, which was taken from his backyard.
Axe razor would have been a way better name for this guy.
Axe razor. What about razor axe? Yeah, axe razor.
Yeah. Sounds like a WWE wrestler.
It does. Razor Ramon. The police discovered that nothing was stolen from the home, ruling out the motive of a robbery. The lower panel of the Maggio's kitchen door had been removed by a found screwdriver.
The lower panel? What?
Like doors, they have different panels on them. So someone took a screwdriver that they found there, kind of chiseled out, punctured it, like a little slit so they can crawl right through the door. Okay.
They took a screwdriver and they hit it.
They found.
They were able to actually chisel it out without no one hearing them.
Guess so.
I don't know about that one. It'd be less intrusive if they just kicked in the damn door and went after him. Chiseling out the wood with a screwdriver.
Yeah, but I guess it would depend on where this killer was doing it. This isn't going in. He wasn't chiseling out the door to the bedroom. He was chiseling out a different part of the house.
Okay.
Maybe it was a little quieter than him kicking in the door.
I don't know about this one. This
and they were
seems
asleep.
fishy. Okay.
So they found that this axe that was used was actually Joseph and Catherine's. It was taken from their backyard. Nothing was stolen, so this wasn't a robbery or attempted robbery. Some things were like shuffled around and like, what would you be called? What would
Rummage
you call it?
through?
Rummage through, thank you. The rules out the motive of robbery. They also discovered some bloody clothes.
Some bloody clothes.
Yeah.
Like that weren't the people
Yeah.
that were there?
So
There was
remember-
someone else's
Yeah,
bloody clothes.
remember when we did the Ripper episode where, this guy's going around murdering people and we're like, how would no one see some
Yeah.
dude walking around bloody clothes? So apparently the police believe this guy changed his clothes and just left
He
them
brought
there.
like extra clothes with him.
I guess so, yeah. Unless he's just walking around in his underwear after this in the middle of the night. That would have been very
Yeah.
noticeable.
Yeah, especially in the 1900s.
What would those be? Because you don't want to be like boxers or, whitey tighty as it'd be like pantaloons.
What?
Those like,
No. He'd be wearing like probably the nightgown with the long cap.
yeah.
Like night before Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Look, man, I have no clue what's going on in early 1900s.
But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be pantaloons, but whatever that like, it'd be pant looking things.
Like
Long john.
long johns, yeah.
Like,
So
that's
he's
what
like
I'm
wearing
thinking.
like, it's like when people slept in like full garb.
Yeah.
Like they were like, it's
They
so
had to-
cold.
They had to
Because
be modest.
well, you figure also they probably didn't have like furnaces that just kick on automatically. They probably like had a fire or something maybe.
Which is why all the people had axes back then.
Yeah, and also, I mean, they might have coal burning first, but they still had to go down and shovel the coal. So in the middle of the night, they're not going to
Sure.
do that. So they just bundle up. I think. I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. Couldn't care less.
A block away, the police also discovered a message written in chalk on the sidewalk. It read, Mrs. Maggio is going to sit up tonight, just like Mrs. Tony.
What? Was it like written like people like had like the Foursquare thing and then like
Like hopscotch?
like welcome to our home and like yeah like some kids like scribbling like a stick figure and then it's like they wrote that
It's like the crappy drawing of a house in the sun.
yeah with little smoke puffs coming out the roof.
I'm going to say no. So Mrs. Maggio's dead, but they mention someone named Mrs. Tony. I've seen two conflicting accounts of the story of who this Mrs. Tony is. One is that this is thought to be a reference to a Joanna Sciambra, who was killed by an axe in 1911 along with her husband, Anthony. Mrs. Sciambra was known in the neighborhood as Mrs. Tony.
What?
But
Yeah,
most of what I read was the conflict here is that Mrs. Tony died and was by gunshot in 1912 and her husband survived.
okay.
So again,
So Mr. Tony was cool. Mrs. Tony was
she's dead either way.
okay. Is it in the same area?
Yes, this is all New Orleans, like downtown New Orleans.
Okay.
On June 27th, 1918, in the early morning hours, the Axeman struck again. A delivery driver, John Zanka, discovered a horrible scene when attempting to make a delivery at 7 a.m. Louis Bessemer was at home. He was attached to his grocery store.
Is there just like every house is a grocery store? Oh wait, do they call grocery stores just like that's just like their kitchen back then?
No,
Why does everybody have a grocery store attached to their house?
No. It's easy that way, I guess.
Easy for what?
These aren't like massive grocery stores.
But still, it's enough of them. Like this is the second house we've talked about where a guy had a grocery store
There's gonna
attached
be
to
more.
it.
There's gonna be way more.
Why does everybody have a grocery store
Mm.
in their house?
That's how they make a living, man. I don't know. I mean,
If everybody has one, you can't make a living.
but you still see business today where like people live above like their business.
Yeah, but it's attached to their house.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, maybe. Hey, again, I wasn't alive in the 19 whatever it was. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe everybody just had a grocery store, and
Definitely seems that way.
the damn capitalists came in and crony capitalism came in and
There's a
smushed them
Walmart
all
now.
together. Yeah.
The Louis Bessemer was at home. Again, his house is attached to a grocery store with his mistress,
Nice.
Harriet Lowe.
Hey now.
The John delivery driver found the two covered in a pool of blood. Bessemer was struck in his right temple with an axe, and Lowe was struck multiple times in the head.
It's just his wife. This isn't connected at all. His wife caught him.
Like the previous attack, this man was a grocer. His own axe was used. Nothing was stolen. A door panel was chiseled out to gain entry.
This guy needs to stop with the door panels. That's great. Now I need to look up how this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna look up how doors were made in the 1900s, and go deep dive into that, it's going to be insane.
But are they that's like hard wood?
Well,
right?
Maybe they could use pine or something. That's a softwood. But from what I'm thinking is correct, and it probably might be, probably won't be. It's like they didn't have plywood and stuff, so they probably made a door frame, the rails, and then they had thinner pieces of wood that they put down inside, and they put them together like that. They had a top rail, bottom rail, side rails. The panels sat in between those where they made a tongue groove or a groove and then slid them in. And so they were grooved that way. So you probably would have maybe popped them out that way. But still seems like a door is made to be strong. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like it would take a lot of time, too. Yeah,
it seems like someone sucks at making doors if they can't stop people from coming and murdering you. That's the entire point of a door.
Maybe the Axeman was a doorman or like a guy that made doors. And he's like
Carpenter,
yeah. He's like, hey, this is how, I'm going to get business.
So he made crappy doors.
Yeah. He's like, then he'll make really good ones, charge, full.
My door can't be chiseled out.
Yeah, right.
It's a solid piece.
Yeah.
That guy sucked.
Premium price.
That other guy was terrible making doors. My doors
you'll get an axe in the head.
No axes in this door. Okay. I still don't get it.
So I think this Bessemer guy was not Italian. So it's kind of a different change up here.
So his life's not important. Is that what you're trying to say? The Polish guys making fun of the Italian guys is not important.
So this kind of, so after the first murder happens, they're not like, this is not a serial killer. They don't think it's a serial killer. It's the first murder, right? This is the second one. So it's kind of a recurring theme here. This guy might not actually be Italian, but
we got to make better doors.
He's a grocer. Both survive the attack, however, which I don't understand. If you get an axe to the head, I don't know, you don't die.
I mean, maybe you're still living, but not the same,
Yeah. Lowe, the mistress said the attacker was mulatto.
What does that mean?
Like a color.
What? I mean the cookies by Hillshire Farms?
Those Milanos?
Yeah.
Mulatto.
What the hell does that mean?
Like a skin shade. Yeah.
I don't think we should be saying this on the air.
All right.
What shade is that?
A person of African and European descent.
African and
mixed.
European? Oh.
Like a lighter brown.
So someone who's mixed race.
Yep.
Okay. That's what they called him?
Yeah.
That seems not great. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some horrible reasoning behind why they use that term.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, both survived. Lowe would eventually die weeks later on August 5th, 1918, due to complications from being right in the head there.
Axe in the head.
Yep.
For those not watching, he just pointed to his dome and said...
Speaking of August 5th, a 28-year-old who was 8 months pregnant, Anna Schneider, was asleep in her bed when she woke to a figure standing over her bed. The attacker struck her in her head multiple times, and what police would later say was either a lamp or an axe handle.
Ooh.
Feel like a lamp beside her bed.
Was it broken?
A lamp?
Yeah.
Some say it was, but other sources they didn't use a lamp, he used an axe handle.
Axe handle?
Yeah.
Didn't even use the good part of the axe. This guy sucks at axing.
He
can't kill anybody, and he uses the wrong part.
Her husband, who was at work during the attack, arrived home after midnight to find his wife, whose face was covered in blood. But luckily, Anna survived and gave birth to their baby 2 days later.
Oh, God.
That's nice.
Yeah.
For now. Again, nothing was stolen except for a couple bucks. And an axe was reportedly missing from the couple's shed.
Guy just stealing axes?
Yeah. Anna nor her husband were grocers nor Italian. Some people say they were Italian, but I feel like the last name Schneider, you're not Italian. Or is that more like a
Jewish? Jewish or German?
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that Schneider be that?
Hey, I'm not a name smith. I don't know. What do they call it? When they just look for the guy with all the axes? Did they ever find axes?
No, because he just leaves. He takes the people's axes and leave them there.
Oh, so he left the axe there for all of these murders or attempted murders.
He takes them from the people because they own them. He just uses them. He's basically finding whatever he can use at the houses. He's being resourceful. He's using what he can.
I thought maybe I was under the impression he was taking them with him.
No,
he's like, go look for the guy with all the axes.
That guy with the axe cart selling axes.
Would they be using fingerprints at this time?
No.
Really?
None of that stuff. No.
Wow. When did they start using fingerprints?
I think the 30s. I want to say.
That'd be so simple. Like, look at the bloody handprints.
Right.
Is that guy? Look at the handprints on the. It's probably like handprints on the wall and crap. People were just like, yeah. Running through high five and stuff.
Yeah, I think even when they did start using them, like your handprints wouldn't be in there unless you.
Yeah, the database, but at least they can try to narrow it down.
Yeah, but that wasn't a thing.
Couldn't they just never mind. All right. This is so crazy. It's crazy.
So then on the night of August 10th, 1918, Pauline and her sister Mary Bruno were woken when they heard a commotion coming from their Uncle Joseph's room. When they entered his room, they discovered their uncle with 2 cuts on his head. They then saw a man fleeing. They were later described, the assailant to police, as a dark-skinned, heavy-set man wearing a dark suit and slouched hat. What's a slouched hat? I have no idea.
Did he just have it pulled down over his eyes a little bit?
Maybe, or just looking saggy a little bit.
Okay. Again, it doesn't seem like I know anything about this time in history.
Unfortunately, Romano would die 2 days later.
He got hit in the head?
Twice.
Yeah.
I guess when the paramedics came, he was able to actually walk out to the paramedics and get in their car or whatever and go to the hospital.
Right, brain swelling or something like that. Everything swelled up.
And then he just died 2 days later.
Ooh.
The police again discovered a panel on the door to the victim's house had been chiseled free and a bloody axe in the backyard.
And he had to, when the paramedics walked him out, he walked through his supermarket. Yeah, what a great time to be alive. Yeah.
The people of New Orleans at this point are freaking out, justifiably so. And newspapers are only fueling fire with sensationalism. We've talked about this time before, newspapers just did that. They had to sell.
I mean, they still do.
Yeah. Multiple people would call the police or get in touch with newspapers saying they keep finding bloody axes in their yards or saying their axes were missing. The citizens began arming themselves and staying up all night to protect themselves and their families.
So at this point, how many has he killed or attacked?
He's attacked
5?
5, I think, at this point.
And he's the first 2.
3 are dead.
Okay.
3 or 4?
Oh, no, probably 4.
So
the first 2, the second 2, and then the girl, and then the guy.
Well, the second...
that survived.
Yeah, the second one, the guy survived. The girl died later.
Okay. So that's 4.
Yeah.
And then the girl... Wait, no.
I think we're at 4.
Okay. Okay. We'll see how many have left, and we could do some
there you go.
Multiple division.
The next canonical Axeman attack didn't take place until March 10th of 1919. So it's 7 months after Joseph Romano. And this one is said to be the most brutal. This time, the Axemen left the city of New Orleans for the suburb of Gretna. Again, these all took place within the city limits, but they decided to cross the Mississippi and go to a suburb of New Orleans.
It's suburbs back then?
Yeah. I think at this point, they were starting to, maybe a couple of years later, but they were working on the technology to start draining the swamps over there so people would start living below sea level and start expanding.
We know that turned out really well.
Bit them in the butt.
Draining the swamp? They're just literally draining natural bodies of water.
They're pumping it in the ocean.
And then building houses there. Like, could never go wrong. What the hell are they thinking? That's what we should do a mystery on. What the hell are these people thinking doing this? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, these swamps have been here forever. Let's just get rid of them.
They didn't get rid of all of them.
Yeah, but they're still building houses below sea level.
Yeah. Yep.
Where water used to be. It's not even like the water dried up like millennia ago.
No,
it's like, let's get this water out of here. Instead of going up the road a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the French? Is that what I talked about this? The French people? They did this?
I mean, there were all French people there.
Okay. Well, France, come on. What the hell are you thinking? It was a long-term ploy. It was like, hey, we'll get them. We'll get those.
Yeah.
We'll get them.
We sold it for you dirt cheap, but
We'll get you.
Yeah, we're going to play the long game. We're playing the long game here.
Yeah.
That night, a 69-year-old Italian grocer,
No, the hell you say.
Orlando Giordano, heard a commotion going on at his neighbor's.
Their supermarket.
His neighbor's the the
Old shoots? The old shoots.
The Cortamiglias, who were also grocers.
Of course.
So when Giordano arrived, he saw a very bloody scene.
So the grocers moved out to the suburbs.
They're expanding, maybe.
Yeah.
Reportedly, Rosie Cortamiglia woke to see her husband, Charles, fighting off an intruder. Unfortunately, her husband didn't fare well, sustaining multiple axe blows to his head and a fractured skull. The axeman then proceeded to hit Rosie in the head, fracturing her skull while cradling their 2-year-old daughter, Mary, who was then struck in the head with the axe, dying.
Wait, the baby got hit too?
Baby died. But Rosie and Charles survived. Again, these victims were Italian grocers, a chiseled out door panel, and bloody axe were found.
This guy hates grocers and door panels.
Yeah, why? Most of them are Italian immigrants. Most of them are grocers. It's kind of weird that he would attack and kill a baby. Like, what would that benefit be? I mean, aside from just killing people, like, what's the point of that? But there are some recurring themes, like his modus operandi, however you pronounce that, his MO.
Yeah, operandi.
But sometimes it kind of goes out of that a little bit, which is interesting.
I mean,
it's confusing police at this point. They're just like,
why doesn't he just axe the door if he's taking the time to get the panel off? That's really hanging me up here. I'm really angry about that. I mean, this guy sucks, but like, one, why are there so many damn grocers? Two, why does he not just axe the door?
I don't know.
Seems like if he would just axe the door and use the screwdriver to kill people, it'd probably been a lot more efficient.
Use a screwdriver to kill somebody?
Just stab him.
The screwdriver?
Yeah.
You tell me that's better than hitting someone in the head with an axe?
I mean, he didn't kill many of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He wasn't very successful. If he would jabbed him in the eye with the thing, it'd have been dead.
Rosie and Charles survived, but on March 13th, 1919, the New Orleans papers received a letter. This is the one I kind of read from earlier. I'm going to go through this whole letter now. It says, March 13th, 1919. Starts off saying hell, gives a date. Esteemed mortal, they've never caught me, never will. They've never seen me, for I'm invisible even as the ether that surrounds your earth. I'm not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I want you Orleanians, and your foolish police called the Axemen. When I see fit, I shall come and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be. I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe to smear the blood and brains of he whom I have sent below to keep me company. If you wish, you may tell the police to be careful not to rile me. Of course, I am a reasonable spirit. I take no offense at the way they have conducted their investigation in the past. In fact, they've been so utterly stupid as not only amuse me, but satanic majesty, Francis Joseph, etc. But tell them to beware. Let them not to try to discover what I am, for it was better that they were never born than to incur the wrath of the Axeman. I don't think there is any need of it, such a warning, for I feel sure the police will always dodge me as they have in the past. They are wise and know how to keep away from all harm. Undoubtedly, you Orleanians think of me as the most horrible murderer, which I am. But I could be much worse if I wanted to. If I wish, I could pay a visit to your city every night. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens from close relationship with the angel of death. This is where it gets this is where the jazz thing comes into play here.
Okay.
Now, to be exact, at 12:15 earthly time, cuckoo, next Tuesday night, which is March 19th, 1919, I'm going to pass over New Orleans. In my infinite mercy, I'm going to make a little proposition to you people. Here it is. I'm very fond of jazz music. I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared whose home a jazz band is full swing at the time I have just mentioned. If everyone has a jazz band going, well then, so much the better for you people. One thing is certain, and that is that some of you, your people, do not jazz it on Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe. Well, as I am cold and crave the warmth of my native Tartarus, which I guess is a underworld kind of thing.
Yeah. Isn't that Greek?
Greek, and I guess there's mention of the Old Testament too. It's about time I leave your earthly home. I will cease my discourse, hoping that thou wilt publish this, that may go well with thee. I have been, am, and will be the worst spirit that has ever existed, either in fact or realm of fancy, the Axeman.
And then it goes on to say, for the best jazz, come to Mickey's Jazz Club. And you're like,
it's all,
I don't know
it's a
about
marketing
this
scheme.
Yeah, like it seems like it's just one of those things. One of those like, what do they call that? Guerrilla marketing or something? What's that called when they do the stuff in the background? Like real hidden, like they fake it. They seek
propaganda?
No. It's like type of marketing thing where they like, no. They like do stuff like secret, like
maybe yeah, that sounds like guerrilla marketing. Let's have
whatever. This guy sucks.
This guy sucks.
This guy sucks.
Guerrilla marketing is the type of advertising that uses unconventional tactics to promote a product or service. Right.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What's it called? Like they did that for like the Dark Knight movie. The Batman Dark Knight movie where they did this thing where like a bunch of bakeries got cakes and they put a Joker card in the cake, and if you had all the Joker cards you can put a message together about it's one of those things like ARGs.
ARG? What's that stand for?
ARG.
Just
alternate reality game or something?
Oh, I don't
know.
So the night of the 18th, going into the 19th, the citizens of New Orleans complied. It's said that every home in New Orleans area played jazz music and every club was filled with people avoiding becoming the next victim of the Axemen. And guess what, Chris? Nobody was murdered that night.
Alternate reality game. I was right.
Oh.
Okay, so this company that sells jazz instruments made a ton of money because one of their owner ran out and killed a bunch of people.
I think it's definitely possible.
Oh, this sucks. This guy sucks.
Apparently jazz at this time was kind of getting pushed out from certain clubs.
Because it was the devil's music or one of those things?
Yeah, like the older generation wasn't very fond of it. They thought like made people loose and do sinful things. But the Axemen reportedly struck again, but not until August 10th.
Struck again?
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
And then again on September 3rd of 1919. On August 10th, Italian Steve Boca was attacked with an axe, and then on September 3rd, their lawman was attacked with an axe. Both were attacked at night while sleeping. Both survived their attacks and were also unable to recall what happened. Like I think Steve was a grocer as well.
Of course.
Sarah
again,
was not.
This guy hates grocers for some reason.
Right. So why the grocers?
He probably got fired from a grocery store when he was,
Right,
or his dad was a grocer and his dad beat him and then groceried stuff. I don't know. I don't know what the verb is for grocering.
Grocering?
I don't know.
October 27th, 1919, the Axemen committed his last assault. Italian grocer Mike Pepitone. I kind of like that's a Pepitone. I like that as the last name.
Is that like a famous person?
I mean, he died.
Joe Pepitone?
He's dead. That make famous. Italian grocer Mike Pepitone was seen being murdered in his bedroom by a man with an axe.
He's a baseball player.
Mike Pepitone?
Yeah, for the Yankees.
Any relation?
1940 to 2023. No, he was from New York. Had nothing to do with the Axemen.
The witness was his wife, who heard the struggle, and she claimed to see two men fleeing the scene. This was the last attack or murder attributed to the Axemen of New Orleans. But whenever you read, like we've done these before, when the killings just stop, it's like, did the killer die? Did they move? Are they just satisfied with what they've done? Or are they, locked up somewhere in prison?
Would this guy be considered a serial killer?
Yeah. Killed 6 people.
So
kind of same MO.
he got like satiated and he was like done.
Do you think it's even possible with like serial killers? Like, do you think they're just like, I'm good now?
I mean, from what I know, which is nothing, I'm gonna say maybe. Like maybe he just got bored of it. He was cool with the rush and he's like, nah, I'm good. It's like anything else humans do.
Yeah.
We find something that's cool for a little bit, and we're like, nah, this is boring.
You just make it seem like it's just a hobby that he's doing this.
Yeah. We all have hobbies that we drop.
Yeah, but we're not like murdering people.
Yeah, but he's not building model cars and playing video games. You know? He's got to do something with your time.
Yeah.
Especially if you get fired from a grocery store, you got to do something. You got to murder people.
All right.
It's his pastime. What do they call it? Like American pastime? Baseball?
Baseball, yeah.
Maybe he didn't like baseball. This is what he liked.
But why jazz?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
I think that's the strangest part.
I think the fact that the jazz was considered young people music, maybe he was a young person, or maybe he's just like, no, I'm not really young, but like maybe people think I'm young.
People make fun of me when I listen to jazz at my grocery store, so I have to murder people.
Yeah, people make fun. I'm the only non-Italian grocer here who likes jazz music.
And no one comes to my store because I play jazz music. Like, it could have been something like that. I don't know. This guy sucks.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So what do you got?
We're going to do with our suspects.
Oh, this is our theories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going to finding the story, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
What were you thinking like at this point? You're like, when you're doing the research, you're like, what is going on? Like, what were you thinking was happening?
Well, I've seen this pop up before, and I never knew that like it was this serial killer is targeting certain people. Like they're Italian for the most part, Italian immigrants, Italian Americans, and they're grocers. Like why? That just seems I didn't know that going this. I thought that was just like it was more like of a random kind of active thing.
Right.
Not necessarily random, but I didn't know it was that specific. But after reading all this stuff and like kind of, researching some of this stuff, and I feel bad saying this, but I feel also justified in some of these.
You hate grocers, so you're like, you happy you got it. No. You hate Italians and grocers.
No. And this will come up later, but I thought it might be, and I do think it's unfair that there's this stigmatism that gets put out there. That's the right word for it. Anyways, mafia related or like mob related?
It hits?
Yeah.
Like from mafia because of Italian background?
Yeah. But again, I feel bad saying that because like it
not every Italian person is in the mafia.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But like it's kind of, they're going to get a bad rap.
So you're saying that these guys to start their grocery store, they had to take a loan from the mafia and they didn't pay it back?
Yeah, maybe. Or they were being, what would be the word for that? Like, not blackmail, but like.
Oh, for protection.
Protection, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I thought after reading this.
Blackmail for protection.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It makes sense, but that's because you think all Italian people are in the mafia.
No. Then this does come up, but it gets
and all Polish people can't screw in a light bulb. So, like, is that what you're saying?
Well, apparently that one guy, Joseph, the one who was having an affair, I saw somewhere that he might have been Polish.
Oh, you're like, well, that guy's cool. The rest of them,
actually, he might not be very cool.
Okay.
What do you think? Because again, like I said before, I thought before, like I didn't think it was that hyper specific as like you got to be Italian, you got to be a grocer.
I mean, I guess this guy, I think if it is like an actual serial killer and it's not just a bunch of different people killing, because the fact that you're bringing up Italian grocers is like
it's oddly specific.
There must be a lot of them then.
Apparently there was. Yeah, apparently there's like most grocers I saw. But again, this is only for a little research I did. There's the Italian community for some reason had a large share of grocery stores.
But are we talking about like the one room, like it's thing is we're not talking about like it's hard for me to
I'm
realize
thinking
that,
like
every block has a grocery store because only 5 things can go on a shelf in there. There's only 3 shelves.
I'm thinking, and again, this is prior to this, whenever you see like an old Western movie and they go into like the convenience store, not what they call them, I forget what they call them, but
the
like
Cocos,
the dime,
7-Eleven,
the nickel and dime store. There's like one room, display cases, a guy behind the counter, there's some stuff back there. That's all I'm
butchering
picturing.
some stuff.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking. Like,
okay,
I think butchers would have been different, but I'm saying like they get your produce there, and that's
give me some hardtack, and he's like,
cheese,
here you go.
That's what you get.
Colt, whatever her name is. I don't know.
Colt. The first suspect. This is following the first murders of Joseph and Catherine Maggio. Andrew Maggio, the brother, who lived in the house.
Andy.
Yep. It is believed that a straight razor was that of a barber's. Coincidentally,
Johnny Depp.
Joseph's brother, Andrew, was a barber. A witness said that Joseph had taken his straight razor home with him 2 days prior to the killings.
So is this separate from the Axeman then?
This is a suspect of who they think the Axeman is. After the first killings.
So he used a razor first, then he started using an axe for the rest of them. That doesn't.
No. This is this one particular.
That's
instance.
what I mean.
Yeah. So he just killed those two people. They think
That's it.
it's the brother. So he has a straight razor because he's a barber. That's what barbers use apparently back then.
Horrifying, yeah.
He took the straight razor home from work 2 days prior to the killings. Okay. A shirt thought to be covered in blood was also found at his house, or his part of the house.
I thought he left the clothes there though.
No. Andy's shirt. This is Andy's shirt. They found a shirt, his part, that was covered in blood. His part of the home, or his part of.
But I thought the Axeman left his clothes there.
They did, but he could also have another bloody shirt.
Okay.
This could have been like from other victims he might have killed.
Yeah. Okay.
Furthermore, the police were suspicious of his actions or lack thereof on the night he heard his brother and sister-in-law being murdered. Because remember, he heard it and he's just like, well, I'll wait this out or I'll go get like help.
Yeah. I mean.
Or when you go like check.
Especially back then, the walls weren't very thick.
No. So when
They're
you're like,
probably
be able to tell like moaning is like,
yes.
These people are getting murdered.
Yeah.
Why would he go like immediately check on them?
Did he, I can't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, did he wake up and hear it? Mm-hmm. Or was he awake?
He woke up at 4:45 a.m. That's what woke him up.
So he nothing about the murdering and killing woke him up. The guy getting viciously murdered, but the guy moaning after he's already almost murdered.
Maybe. That might have been it.
Crazy.
But he took a half hour for him to get his two brothers, and they came back and they saw that.
A half hour before he went in there? You're going to be like, hey,
so
I'll be right back.
That's why the police were like, why would you do that? Why don't you immediately go check on your brother and sister-in-law? So they're like, they thought it was kind of weird.
You're in the same house, so leave and come back.
Right.
I don't, this guy
so
is guilty.
The police did in fact detain him for those reasons. Okay. Straight razor. They found a bloody shirt in his room. The fact that he didn't help out his brother and sister-in-law like right away. But he was released 2 to 3 days later, seeing conflicting accounts on May 25th or May 26th for lack of evidence. The razor he took home was not the one that was found at the scene of the crime. The shirt that they thought was covered in blood was actually red wine. They apparently spilled on himself during the wedding.
There's a big difference.
A year before, yeah. But again, there's no forensic stuff.
How are people that dumb?
I mean, dude.
It seems so obvious to...
Yeah, no, it does.
It's like,
sure.
The fingerprints are different. Anybody, like...
There's no fingerprints back then.
Yeah, we had fingerprints back then. People had fingerprints back then.
No, that's not
You're trying to say Italians didn't have fingerprints back then? You're trying to say?
They didn't. What I meant to say is like they weren't cataloging that stuff.
Yeah, but they could be like...
You think, you think someone would have
Andy,
been like...
come here for a second, dog. Let me see your finger.
Sure. So he was let go.
See, if I was alive back then, I'd have been solving
crimes.
All people?
Is that what you're getting at?
No, I'm solving crimes. And wearing gloves when I murder people.
Yeah, right.
It's
not
terrible.
leaving DNA. All right, so they let Andrew go. They're like, okay, you're good. Second person, suspect, Louis Bessemer. This is the second guy who was attacked with his mistress.
Yes. The other grocer.
Yeah. So Harriet Lowe, mistress of Louis, named Louis as a German spy. She claimed to have found hidden foreign documents written by Bessemer himself. The police went, investigated this, looked at the documents. Apparently the documents they found were written in Yiddish, some were written in German. I can't remember what the other one was. So they arrest him a few days later. And this guy was also hit in the head with an axe, by the way.
Yeah.
Shortly before dying, Lowe would then go on to state that Bessemer was her actual attacker.
He hit himself in the head with the axe?
Yeah, but he didn't die. Maybe just trying to throw him off.
I mean, how many times did he get hit in the axe?
I think only once.
oh no, whoa, my head.
But then Bessemer was arrested and served 9 months in prison before he was acquitted. Because the only witness to this was Lowe, who had a severe head injury and was on her deathbed, so he's probably out of it.
Of course.
But also, as he was in prison serving his 9 months, the attacks kept happening. So,
Right.
You're not the guy.
Yeah, he hired the guy probably. It seems like now that you're saying these things, like you're saying them out loud, like these examples, I'm thinking more this is just a bunch of coincidence. Like this guy saw this happen. This guy's like, oh, there's an axe killer. I'm going to go kill these people. And another guy's like, oh, there's an axe killer.
Copycat stuff.
Yeah, the copycat stuff.
We might as well say like that's definitely a theory that's thrown out there. Like maybe one of these was a normal, like not a normal serial killer. One was like a killing, someone using an axe, and someone was like caught on, so they became copycats.
Just became cool to kill people with axes.
That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah, especially if they're grocers.
The next suspect is Louis Obicon. Louis Obicon was a 41-year-old new hire at Bessemer's grocery. The police arrested him because he gave conflicting accounts of his whereabouts the night of the attack. The police eventually let him go due to lack of evidence against him. So I guess they questioned him like, hey, you only worked here for a couple weeks. Where were you the night of this? And his alibis kept conflicting with one another, but they arrested him. They're like, we really don't have anything on you, so we'll let you go. The next one, a gentleman named James Gleason.
James Gleason.
Yeah. Following Anna's attack, that's the one on August 5th, 1918, James Gleason was arrested. Gleason was an ex-con who ran from the police when being questioned. Suspicious, right?
I mean, he just got out of jail. Of course he's going to run.
Right, so exactly what he said.
He's like, oh no.
So when he was caught and arrested, they asked why he ran away. He simply responded, because I've been arrested so many times.
Yeah. So
he's like, I don't want to go back.
He's just used to it.
Yeah.
It's like a second reflex.
Exactly, yeah. Habitual. He was released. So they're all just pinning these things on the one specific incident, like attack or murder.
Bessemer?
No, like any one of these. Like, so Andrew was there the night his brother and sister-in-law were, murdered. He must have done it. Like, that didn't work. The second
only
guy,
checking out one guy for each one.
They've
one
caught.
Suspect.
Yeah, these are like their biggest leads, and they're not really leads at all. Following the March 10th attacks, the Orlando Giordano, the man who discovered the Cortimigliano, the man who discovered the Vermiglia family, and his son Frank were labeled as the attackers by no other than Rosie herself. Rosie, when he was attacked, she's like, the very guy that came and found her, she's like, he did it. And his son did it. This guy's 69 years old. They were arrested. Frank was sentenced to hang. And Orlando was sentenced with life in prison.
So
they took her word for
it. Maybe these axe murders are happening because all they had were axes to murder people? Like,
or the police are just doing a terrible job.
Well, there's only axes.
Right.
Right. It's like, what else are they going to use?
I mean, straight razor.
But I thought only the barber had that. These are all
items found in the house.
Yeah, so everybody had an axe.
That's the best item to have.
So I have an axe outside.
Yeah. So Rosie's like, hey, these guys did it. Police are like, okay, we got them. Maybe at this point they're just getting desperate. They're like, we got to have something here to like calm people down. However, though, her husband Charles denied that these men were the Axemen. Eventually, they were like, oh, Orlando was too old. He's 69. He's too old and too frail. And Frank, his son, would be too large. He's, I think, like 6'2" and over, or close to 200 pounds. There's no way he could fit through a chiseled door hole.
Okay, he couldn't just like put his hand and open it. Oh my God, the people back then were so dumb.
They were eventually released from prison. And Rosie, apparently, there's conflicting stories about this. Either she was coerced into saying these guys did it, or she admitted this to falsely accuse them because of jealousy that their business of a grocery store was more profitable than her own.
Grocery store wars. Nice.
Yep.
What a simpler time.
We talked about earlier, but it could be a mafia related thing, maybe.
Yes.
This could have been extortion.
It's because you believe all Italians are in the mafia. Yeah.
It could be extortion racket. During this period, New Orleans had a large Italian immigration population, many of whom were grocers or small business owners. These individuals were often victims of extortion by mafia groups demanding payments in exchange for protection, like you said earlier. Those who resisted these demands were sometimes met with violence. There could have been retaliation because of that. This kind of goes along with the mafia theory. They actually give a name. Name's been given. And it's apparently the best suspect they have. Most likely, but I think, I don't know, it's still kind of far-fetched to me. Joseph Mumfree, sometimes spelled different as Mumfree too, is one of the most prominent suspects in the case. Largely due to a dramatic encounter with Esther Pepitone, who was the widow of Mike Pepitone. Mumfree was reportedly involved in New Orleans Italian blackmailing rings, leading gangs that extorted money from Italian immigrants, particularly grocers.
That leads right to like, maybe this was like, again, they're called, we just talked about extortion or whatever. Like this.
Yep.
This is a direct connection. Be like, this is
part
probably
of like
all
this
hits.
mafia thing, yeah. This connection to organized crime alongside his violent tendencies made him a person of interest.
So this guy was probably extorting all these different grocers.
Part of
they weren't paying up.
Yeah.
Not he may not have been part of the mafia.
No, he's. There's also some.
I don't see color, Jordan. I just see we're all one flower.
So there's also some colors like the Black Hand that was apparently prominent back then too, which is like a mafia type of thing as well.
Okay, so you're saying there was mafia activity or different types
mob type of activity.
Mob, not specifically Italian mafia. It could have been many different types of mobs.
Yeah.
Mafia mob. What, I don't know if is mafia just Italian?
It's usually just Italian, yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
There
could have been a different mafia, like a Russian mafia, or is it a Russian mob?
I think it's a Russian mob. I don't know. I know one time we talked about this, like, who's that with? Things we did it on. They're like, they'd say Irish mob or Italian mafia. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not in any of these things, Chris.
Right? Yeah, you just hate them. Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, man. Stop saying
the Polish
that.
mob.
On December 5th, 1921, 2 years after Mike Pepitone's murder, Esther Pepitone shot and killed Mumfree in Los Angeles. This is all kind of this is according to her, apparently. After he demanded money and threatened to kill her, just as her husband had been. Esther later told police that she recognized Mumfree as a man she had seen fleeing the scene of her husband's murder. Also saw that apparently Esther got remarried to a man, I can't remember what his name was, but she moved out to Los Angeles. Her new husband went missing, and she thought that this Joseph Mumfree guy had a part in that.
Is it a different story?
This different like theory of this woman has some Pepitone has some involvement. This woman has some kind of involvement with Joseph Mumfree. Either Joseph Mumfree killed her husband, she remarried, went to Los Angeles. Her second husband was kidnapped or disappeared. She thought Joseph Mumfree had something to do with that as well. So she shot and killed Mumfree for kidnapping her second husband and killing her first. I've seen conflicting stories about that. She says she apparently shot and killed this guy herself.
Okay. This seems okay. That's okay.
So
crazy.
Mumfree's name was also linked to that Sacambra shooting, that couple that I was like either the husband and wife were killed with an axe or she was just shot.
Okay.
So apparently he was a suspect in that as well when all this started kicking off.
This guy's just like all the wrong places.
Yeah. But he also used a gun. So why wouldn't he use an axe? He should use a gun that day.
I mean, guns are louder.
Yeah. But why would you do that? If you're trying to
I don't know. It seems like an axe is like way worse
There's
in
also,
every way because the guys don't die. People don't die.
Yeah. So some people are saying
if he is a hitman, he's terrible at it.
So some people are saying that this guy might have never existed at all. Like there's not really any records on him.
Okay.
Like that's a problem.
Or it's a different guy that went by that. Is an alias.
So you'd mentioned, this is the last one. I think it's kind of interesting. I'm probably least likely, but you'd said this is kind of like a guerrilla campaign kind of thing.
Like an ARG.
Yeah. So when this was all going on, and after the Axemen announced that like you better all be listening to jazz, there's a musician by the name of Joseph John Davila.
The Axeman.
He wrote a song called "The Mysterious Axeman's Jazz." Don't scare me, Papa.
Yeah, but I mean that's just like play on the thing, right?
And it was a huge hit, and he got a bunch of money because of it. But some people were like, "Oh, he must have done all this."
Then wrote a song.
And wrote a song to make money off of it.
I think.
But that's but one person in particular. I can't remember her name. It'll like they talk about it. One of the links we'll have in there. They believe that wasn't the killer, but he probably wrote the letter.
Yeah,
to hype up
the song.
Yeah,
yeah. So this was the
marketing is a marketing thing.
Was the lyrics just the letter?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like that's the lyrics of the song.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
Because that's just then okay. This guy sucks.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting because none of these people really seem that likely to me.
No, it seems like no one has any idea what the hell's going on.
And like the fact that this Mumphrey guy.
If I was back then, I would have solved it in 20 minutes.
This Mumphrey guy may have not even existed at all, or there's different accounts of who Mumphrey was. I'm not going to go into all because I feel like we've gone on way too long, but it just seems like there's not a very likely suspect with any of these people.
It seems like, I don't know, was it just like there was no cops back in or was no investigators or just like.
There were, yeah.
But like, seems like they weren't doing a very good job.
No, it definitely doesn't.
They had nothing.
No. It seemed like they're just trying to like make it stick on anybody who would be.
Did you say any booty?
Any booty. Anybody just to like get it to go away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Calm people down.
So what do you think happened? What do you think? What is your final theory? Yours.
I do think, and I'm not saying it's Italian mafia, but I think the fact that these people are being singled out, it must be some kind of like racketeering or shakedown kind of thing that just went wrong with these people. Like I'm not taking any part in this. Like
I'm not paying for this.
Right. Yeah.
And so therefore the Axeman cometh. Yeah. Whacking away.
Now, whether it's one person doing it, maybe not. Maybe it was like, because some people we saw two people leaving. Maybe it was like, a joint operation kind of thing. Well, like, hey, this guy didn't pay us. You guys go get him. Send him a message.
Yeah. Was there just like, they sent someone with them who's like a review of like, look, you did really bad last time. I'm going to come with you now. You're training now.
So about the screwdriver in the door. Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Just wasting time.
Yeah. We got to
ruining people's doors.
Yeah, we got to get back, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. But all these people weren't necessarily grocers. So it
seems like they were.
Not all of them were. No.
Because it's their wives?
And not all were Italian. No. Some of these people didn't like live in a grocery store or run a grocery store.
How many?
Ooh.
2?
I think 2 or 3.
Okay. Out of how many?
12 people that were attacked.
12?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not a good ratio.
I know, but still, there's outliers, which is interesting. I think that's what kept, from what I read, that's
because the guy went to the wrong house. He's like, oh crap, wrong address. It was 145, not 541.
Yeah, the guys were dyslexic. They messed it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's some kind of weird shakedown thing. People are like, I'm not taking part in this.
It seems like that's most likely if in the same business, most of them. Or it is a serial killer that's just like targeted one group. Because why would if it was like a mob thing, why would they care about jazz unless they're trying to like juice their numbers, their clubs?
I mean, that's definitely possible. I think I saw something like that too.
It seems too convenient.
Just because like jazz was kind of getting pushed out of the city.
Okay.
Maybe someone's like disgruntled. Like a disgruntled club owner or a disgruntled musician, maybe. I don't know.
It seems like it's like a movie.
Yeah.
If it is the mafia or mob. But I'm going with the thing that it's more than likely just a serial killer. And
you think it's just a single person doing it?
No, maybe I don't. Maybe I think it's multiple people that are just using axes. And like, how many other people in the previous year were killed with axes? How many people the year after were killed with axes? What is the ratio here of axe deaths?
Yeah.
If like there's 6 axe deaths a year, then it's like, well, it's probably, and they're solved, and there's 10 unsolved every year, and then it's probably like, that's just a thing.
But if it's like a racketeering thing or like a shakedown kind of thing, no money was really stolen. Nothing was stolen from these people.
Well, yeah, they don't know. They're coming to send a message.
To who though?
The other people that they're borrowing money off, or like the other people that
killing everyone who owns a grocery store. Really?
Well, yeah, but he's not. It's like, okay, this person, this group, this grocery store owner didn't take our thing, and so we went and whacked them. And then they go to the guy next door and was like, "Look,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We handled that.
Yeah.
You want to pay us now or
Yeah,
what? And
that
then
makes sense.
another guy on the street's like, I'm not paying you guys. And he's like, all right.
Get
And
your
then
neighbors.
you go to the neighbors like, hey, that grocery store is closed now. What are you
Yeah.
going to do about that? That kind of sucks for them, huh?
Hmm.
You know, so it's like they're sending a message for other people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's probably multiple people doing this. I'd have to look at the stats, if you will, the data, if you please.
The data?
The data, to see like what is the ratio of people dying by axe murders.
Right.
Because I mean, it's like an entire genre of movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Axe murders. That letter sounded like a kid who's like, he wrote that and when he's like listening to Metallica and he's like, I'm going to be in a metal band too, dog. And he wrote that song in his basement, you know, mad at his parents with all the stuff he's talking about the devil and everything. Come on.
It says it even was dressed from hell, which I thought was interesting. Because,
that's such a terrible thing. That's the same thing. Some kid wrote that. His mom thinks that.
Well, yeah, it's a Jack Ripper thing too. Yeah.
ACDC stand for Antichrist Devil Children or something. Okay. So Jordan, thank you for bringing this aboard.
Yeah.
The Mysterious
Sure.
Express. I enjoyed it, but I hope it spooked y'all out there that there's axe murders abound. I don't know if is it really, is still axe murdering so popular with the kids?
I don't know.
Is it like a I mean I guess
grocery store isn't even popular anymore.
it's probably like overdoses and gun violence more nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably not axe murders are not a thing we have to worry about as much. That would suck. Being killed with an axe.
I mean,
Okay, things
groceries that, don't have guns. That's
knife or axe, you're gonna be murdered. You're gonna be hit. You might not die. Axe or knife. Gotta pick one.
Which I'd rather get.
Yeah. The guy's coming after you. What do you want him to be holding?
Axe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Axe or bat?
Bludgeon to death or
Axe to death.
bat.
Okay. Good. I'll write that one down. Spiked club or axe?
Axe.
Okay. Chainsaw or axe?
Jeez. Axe.
Okay. Wow. Fan of the axes over here. Now we think we solved the mystery. Yeah, right on the nose. Poison or axe?
The slow poison?
I don't know. I don't make poisons. I don't know how they work. I'm a poisonist.
Well, about that one. I don't know.
Fists or axe?
Fist.
Yeah, because I can strangle you with my hands.
It's not, a fist would be a punch.
My hands are an axe.
Yeah, exactly.
Hands are an axe.
Hands.
Of a larger man.
Or woman.
Yeah. A larger
Chris.
person. Preferably not Italian, but.
And.
Okay. We'll see where you're going here. Axe or drowning?
Oh, axe.
Yeah, like toilet bowl or axe?
Axe.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay, so you're a fan of the axe.
Axe or burning. How about that one?
Oh my God. Axe.
Axe or getting hit by a car.
Car. Absolutely. Because I would just run up, like I just like do instant.
Yeah, do that cool. Like run up and flip.
I'd be like, wow, ooh, and then jump.
Jump at the right time. Oh, shoot.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, jump right at the exact time, and then land on the guy's roof and step through his windshield. Be like, hey man. So yeah, I'd probably take a car over an axe. Sleep is your dead sleep. Axe, or like, I don't know, something else. Electricity.
Spontaneous combustion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that episode. I don't remember what one it was. Whatever her name was. Spontaneous combustion lady.
Yep.
Okay. All right, everybody out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you were listening to us, thank you for tuning in. Please leave us a like on your podcast platform of choice. If you are watching us on YouTube, please give us a follow or a like or whatever it is on there. Please leave us a comment on either platforms. And if you could send us an email. If you have any questions, we could read them on the air. If you have any comments or questions about the episodes we've done in the past, future episodes, or any suggestions, we would love to hear them. All those links are down below for our social media at Facebook, X, and whatever else is out there. We are on TikTok and Instagram. You can also help us out by telling your friends, telling your enemies. And we hope to see you next time. Jordan, thank you for being here.
Go to the music.
Oh, the
Theme
music
by Bethlehem.
Theme music is by Bethlehem. Again, their link is in the show notes below. You can also find all of this stuff and more over at mysteriousPals.com. Jordan, thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
And thank you out there in mysterious land.
Get some Count Chocula.
Get some Count Chocula. Same
Limited
mysterious
time.
time, same mysterious place, same mysterious pals. See ya and good night.